To the program race by race wise, and we're going to start with race 3, the 3-year-olds in action here, where Lilakoi is a 321.38 favourite. Interesting to see Lincoln's Cruise second favourite on debut against race winners, against mostly race winners, 450 and 165, but has won a couple of trials. And I spoke to Lisa Latter at the sales on Thursday, Stephen, and she's got a really high opinion of this bloke. What are punters saying?
Notably, it's you see all the nominations that have come out in the last fortnight. Living Classic, the Derby, this horse is nominated for all of them, Lincoln's Cruise. So no surprise Lisa Latter has a decent opinion around this 3-year-old and well supported, $4.50. Look, it has drifted slightly, $4.20, but don't get put off. It holds more money, in fact, than Lilakoi, who has that race day form in terms of winning form as well, Lilakoi, who now stands at $3.20 off a shortener of $3. Serena's been well supported this morning. I think, from memory, it was Des Coppin's bet of the day on radio trackside, so a lot of followers around Serena back from black type form in terms of Te Rapa and the Memorial, so well supported there. 550, got as short as 5, just back out to 5.5. I'm already, who from barrier 6 you'd think would go forward from where its speed maps previously, 8 into $6 and 2 full points. And a little bit of specking for Trifilium, who's been well specced, opened at 14s, got as high as 18s, back out to $15. And I do believe Bevan Sweeney rated it around about a 40% chance on the first call during the week. At the moment, it's rated a 6% chance with bookies. So a little bit of discrepancy around there, notably a big liability around Trifilium.
Well, 16s to 2.5 there, Bevan. That's a big swing. There's a bit of pace in here as well. How'd you see it?
He was on the spot with the first call a little bit, and thinking that Trifolium went around as a $2 shot at Trentham in a strong 3-year-old race last time. I thought, well, it'll be short in the market, and then we checked out the prices and it was $18, which to me is a massive over. A massive over. This horse went around $2, as I mentioned, at Trentham. Prior to that was close up behind Aretha, close up behind Riva Capri. So it brings the strongest form lines in my mind to this race. Has good speed, 3 kilos off its back. And I think it'll get the 1-1 with the second slip in this race, and I'm already probably going to push forward. So I did like it as a bet at that price of $18 when we had a look at it on the first call on Thursday. And we'll have a little each way on it. I was going to put it on top, and then I kept on going back to the replays of Lincoln's Cruise. This is the gelding by Kuroshio. They paid $150 out of the ready-to-run sales for this horse, and it was soft at Foxton when beating Light Up, who was the subsequent winner, and hardly got out of first gear when it picked up its most recent trial win. It's going to sit off the speed today. It won't have the racing experience, but just went through them again last night and thought, well, I've got to have a little bit on this horse as well. And saying that, you've got Lilakoi in here today, who will get back listening to Jamie on the radio this morning and try and get across the top of them. Second slip has ability, but I marked Lincoln Cruise on top over Trifolium. They're 2 plays to me in this particular race. Also thought Serena, yes, coming out of black type, had to have good form recommend, and Lilakoi, but yeah, I did like the 18s when I had a look at that A-Rod. When you think that you put it up as your best bet in the previous start, you can't hop off the ship when it's run around at Trentham on a very holding track, and it was disappointing that day, but Lisa didn't really test the horse after it wasn't handling that ground. Does have good speed, weight off its back. Those are the 2 for me in this race, but there is a fair bit of ability, and it's one of those My Sky races, because I think 4, maybe even 5 of these horses will win at short notice.
Yeah, went through Woburn Farm as well at 150,000 last year. They topped the ready-to-run sales this week, and they've also got Lady Woburn going around in the stakes race in their own colours up at Pukekohe this afternoon. So Adrian and Hannah have a big day in front of them. Let's move you on to the 4th. This one, the Smartphone Repairs. Tui backing a winner, 2,200. Joint favouritism here. Johnny Lincoln and Cade Mellifulture at 420. Stephen, what's the plays here?
Johnny Lincoln went up favourite during the week, Aiden, $3.60, drifted to $4.20. Seimal Falate has been well supported, in fact, holds that equal favouritism at $4.20, so clearly the better backed out of the 2 favourites. Number 8, Lisa Allpress does the riding for the Benner Wynyard stable. Vainglory opting for Awapuni v Pukekohe, where it was withdrawn from race 1, maybe just on the back of the dead track, Vainglory, but notable drifter, $4.60 out to $5. A couple they have spec here, number 11, Savannah Gem, right down the bottom there, drawn barrier 4, Daryl Bradley, opened at 16s, now trading 11s. And a little speaking for also Deuce Coupe on the back of a nice win. In fact, has won its 2 out of its last 3, Deuce Coupe, even though it's drifted, currently a losing liability. So a pretty even race with 4 or 5 they're willing to go for.
Okay, interesting this because Kate Miller-Fulcher was terrific last time out. I think they'll try and get handy again. Kahu Rock, another speed factor in the race. How do you see this one, Bevan?
Well, I'm going to probably stick with the ship here, Aidan, with my old fan and What's Up. He just doesn't have any luck. He gets caught 3 wide. I think he's been really, really brave. He's had that one run back in 72 where I thought it wasn't a bad effort behind Humble Pie. He did get caught 3 wide for a period. It was here at Awapuni on the second when they were using the short course, which I think is a little bit of a difficult track to ride and for the horse to get into it on. So, because with What's Up, with not a lot of certainty in this race, Johnny Lincoln, change of rider there with Ryan going aboard. Robbie knows this horse really, really well, and change of rider. Look, I think Ryan has to employ the same sort of tactics on this horse. Cage Miller-Fulcher, dominant last time, and a horse that's put on a bit of bark and looks to be coming into its best form now. And Deuce Coupe was very good, has won 2 of its last 3 in recent times. So I was around those numbers. Vainglory didn't have a jockey declared when I did my selection, so might have just missed one there with Alish McCall up. The other one was Run Like Boo, who I thought has been really good behind a couple of smart horses in Duke of Plumpton and Rock Your Socks. That's an each way quote with Brodie Ansel up, but I'm going to stick with the same ship as in the previous A-Rod. What's Up? He hasn't won out of turn, but look, he's a good quality tough horse, and if he's in the race, I think he'll put up a run today.
I love your loyalty, Bevan. It's a really positive factor. Good trait. Okay, let's jump forward a couple of races to our feature. It is the J. Turkington Forestry Waipine Bulls Country Cup, where Rock On Wood's a 225, 128 favourite over Windspell at 4 and 145, 750 around Beefeater, $9 for the Bandito and $9.50 for Hartley as well. It does look a race in 2. Is that what punters are telling us here, Stephen?
Basically, Aidan, basically. Look, all the early trade was on number 3, Rock On Wood, on Thursday and Friday, but we've seen a lot of action around Windspell late yesterday evening and early doors this morning to get its price down to $4 off a peak of $4.80. And Rock On Wood opened at $2.10, got as short as $2, just back out to $2.25. I think there's still potential that that $2.25 could drift to maybe $2.30, $2.40 later on this afternoon from what I'm seeing in terms of good support around Windspell, who now I mentioned $4.80 into $4. A little bit of speaking around Hartley, back on a better track. I know it's up in grade, but Hartley opened at $12, now trading in single figures at 9.5. And Honor Noir, a bit of an unpredicted move here. Totally did not see this coming, Aidan. Honor Noir second up for Peter Locke and Leah Hemi, opened at $51, now trading at 21. Clearly the biggest liability, the fact that we've laid its price at a decent price, Honor Noir. And going back on its form, look, at its best, it could be competitive, and from that barrier 5, they might look to push forward and be hard to run down. But overall, it was a little bit unexpected, the move on that particular runner. But as it stands right now, early money Rock On Wood, now the money coming for Windspell, they match dollar for dollar.
Okay, good. Boys, it's got to be Windspell rather than Windspell, am I right? Is that the way you see it, Bevan? It's Windspell?
Yep, Windspell. I think that's the way we go with this particular horse. And I think the speed map, when I was thinking about this race early on, Aidan, I thought Windspell might be 2 or 3 lengths in front of Rock On Wood, but when I remapped this race again this morning, I thought, well, they're probably going to be side by side at the back of the field. So then you go, who's got the better turn of foot? And I think it's Rock On Wood. For me, on what I've seen from this horse, he has got an explosive turn of foot. I've got no doubt about Windspell and its abilities to be right in the race. I know there's strong money for it. It's back from Australia. It's had a couple of efforts at Hastings, so it's been around the traps. New rider aboard with Charlotte doing the riding, and it can be a bit of a trick at the start, this horse, as we saw on the second day at Hawke's Bay. So wouldn't be surprised if they're back together on the inside. So I'm going to go with Rock On Wood. He is the X-Factor horse in the Central Districts at the present moment. He's been very patiently handled by Leanne. I wonder if they just avoided Hastings with Melody Bell being there and sort of focused in on the Captain Cook and more likely the Thorndon Mile with time as we get into the Wellington Cup Carnival. His trial said he is back. He was untouched at the trials and looked as though he could have quickened up very, very nicely if he was asked. So look, if he's going to be susceptible, it might be today over the 1400 metres, but I had them side by side as they turned in. and I went with Rock On Wood to win. To beat home Windspeed, I thought the Bandito might be the horse that's on speed. He's a good quality horse, this, who can kick off a nice sort of tempo, and he may just get it soft in front. Salamanca you'd think would go forward. Hartley will be somewhere thereabouts, but I thought the Bandito would clear them quite easily. And if he gets a soft sectional, he might just give them something to chase, because he can quicken nicely. And outside of that, Henny's been going well. Lisa Allpress picked up the ride here this afternoon. I think that's a nice pickup for Lisa on a horse who's been hitting the line nicely in some good grade races. But fingers crossed, no disrespect to Windspeed, but I do hope that Rock On Wood takes this out and adds a bit of X factor as we head towards the big miles at Trentham.
Yep, can't wait to see the clash for sure, men. Kate, let's get you on to the last of the program. It is the Property Brokers 1400. Weaponry scratched out of Pukekohe to be here. Chelsea Burden takes 3 off to 58 at 4 and 165. Cinerama looks to be the main danger here, Stephen, at 450.
Interesting runner, Cinerama, was well backed. In fact, all its starts last campaign started a very short SP. So it was an interesting runner to price up. The fact that at Te Rapa first up 8 in, there was little money to speak of around Cinerama. Slightly different this time round. Not the betting plungers we've come across Cinerama previously, but there's enough money to suggest it's got good improvement second up here for Alan Sharrock, $4.50. Weaponry's been a notable drifter at the top of the book, $3.60 when betting commenced on Thursday, now out to $4. So there's been 4 or 5 they're willing to take on, even outside the top 2. Miss Contessa, 8 into 7, that's only happened just in the last hour or so. Sugar Rush, third up here on the back of what was a decent campaign or spelling campaign, so you'd think again natural improvement there, 8.50 into 7.5. Roll the Gold second up, there's natural improvement here, finishing third behind a subsequent winner, and Punters well onto that, 8.50 into 7.5. Lincoln Hills, one of the many Lisa Ladder chances today, 17's on offer during the week, got as short as 14 yesterday, now travelling at $10 flat, and also a little bit of specking around Floral Belt was an impressive winner, albeit down in grade last start at $14. So it's not clear cut around Weaponry and Cinerama. Cinerama fractionally the better backed out of those top 2, but as I mentioned, there's 4 or 5 they're willing to spec outside the 1 and 2 in betting.
On paper, a bit of pace in this race as well. Have a look at the speed map for you and get your thoughts of Bevan Sweeney here. There looked to be a few of them that would go forward. Nothing with high speed, but it looks to be genuine pace here, Bevan.
Well, I thought Sugar Rush and the other runner I thought that would go forward is probably Prosecco. Look, I'm going to go a little bit outside the square in this race and land with Langkawi, who I think in that speed map should be able to get a forward position. And when I go back through his form, he had an awkward run fresh up at Hastings behind Burgundy Bell, who's got great ability. At Ellerslie, really unlucky behind Gino Severini, who's well specced in the north today, and then went to Te Rapa and didn't have a lot of luck and behind a very, very smart horse in Coventina Bay. So I thought this was a horse that would be really strongly supported throughout the program, and for me it's one of the speed map specials on the day. So I went with the 7 on top, over Cinerama. I would like a little bit more money to come for this particular horse. Didn't have a lot of favours in the same Coventina Bay race at Te Rapa, but look, she's got black type ability and they've been pretty patient with Cinerama, so she's in the mix for mine as well. My old favourite again is One Prize, One Goal, and I think he can run in the money here this afternoon. Forgive that last start performance here at Awapuni. The form prior was very, very strong, and then Weaponry. Look, he's a good horse this, and he's third up this preparation. Where to from the draw? I think they might push forward with Weaponry with the 3 kilos off for the 58 on the back. He'll add some more speed into the race, but look, I was a little surprised that there hasn't been strong support for Langkawi. The form lines around him are very, very strong in my mind, and I think he's a good each way chance in race number 8. As far as the strategy goes for the program, let's have a look at that. My best bet on the program is Rock On Wood. My value bet is Molto Veloce. I went back and watched this replay last night. Comes back from 72 to 65, and I've never seen this season a horse go to the line this hard held. Molto Veloce after getting back at Te Rapa, and I think there's a lot of money there listening to the team this morning. And Trifolium at 18, so I just couldn't really work that out for me personally, but there are some nice horses in that particular race, but I think Trifolium's a nice horse as well. Strategy, I'm going to back 2 in race 3, Lincoln Cruise and Trifolium, 20 on Molto Veloce, put 50 on Rock On Wood, and Monkey Shoulder in the last. Look, he's let me down on occasions, Aidan, but he's bigger and stronger this season. His fresh up run was very good at New Plymouth. He'll lap up the 1,600 metres, and I think he's not a bad little investment in the last on the afternoon. But Look, fingers crossed. I hope we see the real rock on wood today. The trial suggests we will, and he is an X-factor galloper in the country, and it'll be good to add another one to the top of the list, as we've got a nice little pool of horses at the present moment that can give not only the Australians a shake, but add some really good quality into the Auckland and Wellington Cup carnivals upcoming.